Hey everybody, Todd McFarlane here. Today we're going to draw the Hulk, which is a guy that looks about 1,000 times bigger than me, and he's green. So let's go through some of the basics. I got a little bit of a rough down here because otherwise this would be a way too long of a drawing here. So here's what I like to do is I like to start with black, and all you need to remember is he's got a pretty big brow, right? So start with your, hold on a sec, Todd. Start with your brow. Give him a big brow. I used to like to give him sort of some nice wrinkles in here, so we'll give him a couple wrinkles. We'll get to the eyes a little bit later. Come up in here. This is sort of where he's wrinkled all the time, because to me he's always sort of mad at somebody at all times. So we're going to start here. So we've got a big brow that we're going to start here. The other thing that he has that I think that's slightly different than other superheroes is he doesn't have a long nose. He has sort of a short nose. So don't give him too much space as you get to the nose area. And then square off his nose a little bit. It's a little bit rounded, or it looks like a loaf of bread, if you will. So we'll give him a little bit of that, and I'll put some shading in a little bit. And then we'll drop in his sort of beady little eyes up in here. So we'll come in here. The eyes are going to be up in here. And he's going to have a lot of shadows. Why? Because he has, so the big brow will always cause shadows. So we'll come in here and we'll do it, and we'll give him some little beady eyes. I can always come up in here in a second, and I'll give him some better eyes once I add some white. So we'll give him some nice shadows. Make sure that he's got some wrinkles up in here. So once you get those components, we'll come in here, add a little bit of white to it. Again, a black eye, add a little bit of white, and then we'll cut some lines in there. All right. Now we're going to continue with a little bit of the wrinkles here. And now here's another thing that I think happens with him. He has a long sort of line down here before you actually get to the mouth, right? So when you get to the mouth, don't make it too close between the nose and like a normal person. Again, this is the Hulk, so he has sort of his own sort of unique characteristics about him. And he's always gritting his teeth, so you can give him some nice teeth right here. And again, if I was doing this as a pencil and ink one, I'd put even more sort of cool detail in here. And then we'll close his mouth up a little bit. And then he sort of has a bit of a fat lip, right? So, you know, don't be generous. Give him a little bit of a bump here. And then when you come up in here, come way underneath and then curve it up in here. So that instead of making it sort of short up in here, do these sort of big fat lips to me, because then it just makes him a little more bulkier, or as we call hulkier. So you're going to give him a little bit of wrinkles here. Those are the lines down in here. And then his head isn't round. His head is actually sort of blocky. So he has real high cheekbones, I think. You know, give him the high cheekbones. Has high sort of chin. He has a real square jaw down here, and it's pretty long, right? So don't round off your chin too much. Make sure you round it and make it nice and big this way. And then you're going to come in here with a wrinkle. Give him another sort of cheekbone over here, and make sure you get these lines up in here so that I'm going to even get rid of a couple of these. So it just seems like. All right, something happened. Sorry about that. We lost our connection. I was in the middle of doing my Hulk drawing, so I added a few more lines while you guys were waiting for the reconnection here. So let's just pick up. So if you watch both the video we just did and this one, I guess you'll get a complete Hulk. All right, we're back. Sorry for that. We're having technical difficulties. If we cut out again, that means something's happening here at the office. So anyways, I was just sort of farting around while we were trying to figure it out a little bit. So here you have the Hulk again, a blunt nose, right? Give him a little bit of shadow. Got a big mouth, big fat sort of underlip here, big sort of square face. His head's gonna be more like this instead of an oval like we talked about. So he's gonna have the cheek over here, and then he's gonna have his other jaw is gonna be way down here. And again, like I said, he has a bit of a square face. So make sure that you don't give him human dimensions, because he isn't. And then once we come up in here, then we're going to throw an ear in here. It has a little thick, little stubby ear, and he's probably going to have one on this side, make it a little bit hidden up on this side. And then really the thing that makes him the Hulk is if you think about the hair when I was a kid of like Frankenstein, to me that's sort of how you got to his hair. So with just these little sort of spikes that would come down here like this, and it was all messy. Right, it's like you never got a haircut. It's like a bad bowl cut, if you will. So if we come up here, you just do small, 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 big, small, 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 big. You're right. You just throw these lines up in here, and then you keep it a little bit flat. You don't want to get his head too rounded because, again, to me, he had, like I said, a Frankenstein sort of feel. So he has his big hairs here, comes up in here, and then I'll add just a little bit of black in here real quick. If I go here, I'll go up in here, and I hit my button, boom, he's got black. Right, put some hair up in here, boom, we got our black up in here, cut in here, come back into white, and we can cut some nice white highlights in there fairly easily. And we get here. And now the next part of it is, once you got sort of a big one, you have to make it seem like he's big and he's hulky. So he has almost no neck. So if you're going to draw a neck down here, make the neck short, right? A little bit of an Adam's apple. Right? You can put some shadow on there if you want. You know, a little bit more of the neck up in here. And then, you know, he's hulking, so he's got these big shoulders that start way up here. So you never draw shoulders up here on a human being, but you can do that for the Hulk because it's just what he is. And then you have your big collarbone. He comes up in here, some more of the neck. You just start adding a little bit of muscles. You get a little bit of the shoulder muscles up in here that I would do some sort of sexier sort of feathering that I'm doing right now. Same on the other side, give him a bit of a collarbone, give him a little bit of his pecs as it goes into his shoulder up over here, and then again he's going to have some shoulder muscles up in here. You can sort of feather that and add some of it. Again, I always thought that the Hulk was sort of more like a rhinoceros or an elephant. He had sort of very rough skin. So again, you don't have to make him pretty. I don't think he should be your pretty superhero. I think he should be your tough-looking guy, and give him nice, big, bulky shoulders, and you get in there. But anyway, I'm sorry for the confusion with the technology today, but there's our Hulk for today. Thanks for joining me. Todd out.